It is the RIOT. Hi.
So no podcast yesterday because Opie
back.
was off, but we are back and we've got a brand new podcast for you today.
So here's the kind of stuff you'll hear in today's podcast, which seems kind of short when I look at it.
Even though I feel like we talked long. Are we missing some stuff?
We didn't on everything. And I've been going back and checking. A lot of times when we're like, hey, the break was this long.
Yeah.
When you take the front of it off, plus like they're not as long as we think they are.
All of our busy talk in the beginning.
Yeah, it's not always quite what you think. Stuff in today's podcast, there's an interview with Empty.
That's a new band we're playing here on RadioU. Gary is a super nice guy.
Yes.
I think the first band we've ever played out of Myrtle Beach. So we talk a little bit about him and where they're from.
Never heard a band talk to us about Myrtle Beach.
It's the first time. Yeah, and this you will.
Let's see. We also talk about the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare reboot. We talk about Netflix and their playback speeds. A lot of sinus discussion today. My sinuses are choking me, okay? In my sleep.
They're really causing problems.
I'm okay. The thing that's the weirdest about it is that I don't have a runny nose. It is all back, like behind my sinuses.
Does it feel like it's running back there, or does it just feel stuffed up?
A little bit, but it's just stuffy. I don't even notice it for a while, and it's like, oh, I can't breathe through my nose. And like I kind of can if I really work at it.
So listen, because some people send in some alternatives, some ways to help get rid of that. And if you have any suggestions or ideas, you can text anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U, and just put, hey, I'm a podcast listener. And the next time we're in for the show, we will see your text.
Other things you'll hear is Nikki falling in love with the AirPod Pro. It's not that she fell in love. She was already in love.
We're flirting. That's all we're doing.
Oh, my gosh.
That's it.
I don't know what it sounds like,
but in my moment, in
the moment, it's my favorite thing from the day. That and Nikki lost her nose ring. So
I did. My nose ring.
I love that one, too.
I got to go home and look for it in the bed, probably.
Well, hey, you guys enjoy the podcast. Thanks for always hanging with us. We so appreciate you. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
One of the big problems with having a day off is, I don't know if anybody else does this, but on the days I'm not off, I accumulate a ton of things that I want to do when I get time off. And then when I get to the time off, I have way too much to do.
I could overload.
I could never watch all of these movies, read all of these comics.
Eat all the snacks.
Never. I couldn't do it. Like, it's too much. It almost becomes its own stress when you're trying to. It's like, I know I have the day off, but like, I got to get all the way through this box set. Like, I got to move through it. Not to mention, I got shows in my queue. I got games to play. I'm busy, guys. I got a lot going on, as you'll see. And that's why there's a lot of fuss about it. But I feel like Netflix has got my back a little bit, you know?
With what?
Well, Netflix is, they say, going to roll out a little experiment, which apparently, maybe if you have the Android app, you may already have it, with the idea of being able to watch shows on Netflix at 1.25 or 1.5 speed.
So you can make it a little faster.
So you could watch it faster.
Now, did you see how many people in the industry are very unhappy about that?
I did see that.
But we'll see. I guess for some other streaming sites, that's an option.
Oh, is it?
It seemed like it, but I don't know.
I know that like YouTube has that on for some of their stuff. And so what I think is funny is that you always see directors and industry people throw a fit about that, like on one end. But do you know that in syndication, they've been doing this for years?
They speed it up.
Oh, yeah. Like most of those like kind of sitcoms and whatever that you'll see in syndication, they will be pitched up a certain percent so the episodes move a little faster so they can get one more commercial in. And you're like, they don't do.
Yes, they do.
I promise you.
Yes, they do.
I promise you. But you know what? I noticed that they were completely silent about that. That's no big deal. Hollywood is always super picky about what they get frustrated about.
Well, is it more on the movie side of things that they don't want this done?
Well, here's the example that I was thinking of, is that, the film industry edits movies for airplanes so that they have like Like if it's an R-rated film, they'll give you like a PG or a PG-13, whatever. They don't like that. But then for like at home, you had people that were trying to present edited versions of films so they were quote unquote more family friendly. So directors threw a huge fit about that, and they put a couple of companies out of business. But for the airline industry, that's fine because there's a lot of money involved.
Sure.
So I'm just saying.
They pick and choose.
They pick and choose how like intensely they defend their art.
Yeah.
And
but really, they should be glad whether fast or slow we're watching it at all.
Oh, come on.
So they should maybe be all right.
Come on.
Plus, there's no problem. We don't need to watch it at all.
It's already on Netflix. You done got paid? What you worried about?
It's already there, but it seems to be the Netflix stuff is what people are a bit agitated about, but they might start rolling it out, or you might already have some of it.
Yeah. So, and again, from what I've seen, it seems like it's going to be in the Android app first. Because Android users are trash, so let them have it anyway. Right? Right?
Is that what they're saying? That's the lowest amount of complaints coming from that.
I don't know. People are like, yeah, my Android app's broken anyway, so no big deal. I have an Android phone.
No one wants to watch it there anyway.
Yeah. So, man, some people are really upset about it. I'm not going to watch anything like that, but
I'd be curious to try to see like if it really feels like it's moving faster. But normally I only feel that way if I've seen it originally and I can feel the difference in it. And if it's your first time watching it, you might not notice it.
You might not notice.
You might just be like, all right, we're moving. And you just think it moves anyways.
What do you cut 2 or 3 minutes off?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Like, great. Really saved us a lot, didn't you?
Well, Netflix sees that as more time for you to stream because they have so much content.
The Riot is to your ears what all those energy drinks are to your liver.
For the love of God, please stop. I can only process so much. Oh.
The Riot, RadioU.
We just had another one of those moments where I just wish that you guys could be here. Because
you want to see what's in between the songs, don't you?
Sometimes the show is too much of me talking, and I want you guys to know that in real life, Nikki's way more entertaining than I am.
Oh,
way more entertaining.
What a day already, right? What a day.
We're just sitting here, and I just hear, oh, dang it.
Crap.
Why don't you tell them what you're looking for, Nikki?
My nose ring's gone. My nose ring's not in my nose, and I don't know where it is. It's either in bed or I worked out, humble brag. Maybe it's there.
You know, a lot of times when you work out, it's really hard on your nose ring.
I put in effort today, so maybe it's there. I don't know where it is.
You know what? Right now, somebody's like, did somebody lose their false tooth? And
no, it's my nose ring.
Okay, how gross is it when you pick something up and you're like, oh gosh, it's their nose ring?
Well, mine is sparkly and nice. And
I know, but that doesn't change the fact that one side of it has been jammed in your snot locker. Yeah.
First off, I don't call it my snot locker, and I never have. So
well, maybe you should.
It's not like that.
Maybe you should.
It's not wide. It's not a snot locker. It's not anything. It's delicate. It's nice. It's fine. And it's empty because I don't have my nose ring.
So what you're saying is if you sneeze now, you could shoot snot out out at a 90-degree angle.
Maybe I should.
Woof.
What's the
don't sit next to Nikki today.
What's the nose rinse thing? The pot,
nasal rinse, yeah.
The neti pot, and then it comes out, my nose ring hole.
Oh my gosh.
Thankfully, I have more at home, but this is disappointing that we're at this point.
So you don't put a lot of money in a nose ring.
You buy like a party pack of them, and then you have a lot to spare, which is maybe why I lose them.
Okay, so how often does this happen?
It's somewhat.
Shut up. Really?
I mean, if you're like washing your face or blowing your nose or sleeping or changing shirts, like it's hoodie season. So like you just take the hoodie off and it just comes
and
right
it's
off.
just gone. You don't know.
Just gone.
And so that moment that you had to me, which I was like, this is crazy.
It's
You're
not
just
the
like,
first.
nah.
It's not the first time we've lost the nose ring.
So I've already lost my first nose ring for the day.
Darn it. I need to go back to wearing like a hoop or something.
No, then as you're taking your hoodie off, it'll just grab it and rip your nose.
Yeah, and then it bends apart and you can never get the hoop back perfectly. It's a thing.
Nose ring problems.
It is.
I'm actually glad you're discussing it because I feel like nose rings get glossed over, glorified. They're like, it's the best, it's the best.
Until
These are the
allergy season or cold and flu season hits.
These are the real life problems of a nose ring wearer.
Maybe I should just take it off at night and put it on in the morning.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So spend some time this weekend playing the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I didn't really get into the multiplayer, but I did play almost all of the single player. But I stopped because I got to a point where I was like, I'm not really having fun anymore. I just want to, I'm going back to Borderlands.
Aww.
But
you rented it, right?
I did rent it.
It's not such a big deal.
No. I'll tell you one, it's probably the best looking video game I've ever seen.
Borderlands or Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. It is crazy how good it looks. It's just wow. Like it looks
stunning.
It does. It has such a true to life feeling, which is part of its problem. It's always one of the interesting things is if you go back to the original Call of Duty, it has a moment in it that I'll never forget. It's from World War II, and the opening moments of the game, you play a paratrooper whose job it is on the day before the Normandy invasion to go behind enemy lines and do a few things to prepare for the invasion. And you had to run around and take out this anti-aircraft gun. And the sound of that gun firing constantly, there was something about it that was just terrifying. And by the time I got done, I was like, I don't ever want to go to war, ever. But then from there, they become much more video game-like. But this felt like a real true kind of return to form in that you're playing a game. They really, I feel like, they go out of their way to show you just how terrible this really is. And there's this weird stroke of irony that hey, we've made a game about this, but they're also, you're having fun, I guess, but they're also showing you how bad this can be. There are scenes where you're going through houses, kicking down doors, people are having dinner. Some people pull a gun on you. Some people are just like, please don't hurt us. And you're like, oh gosh. It just hit a point where I was like, you know what? This has given me too much to think about.
On to Borderlands.
I'm trying to take a day off.
I'm going over there now.
I'm going to go over here and shoot the skags and the racks.
Obviously not real.
Out in the deserts of Borderlands.
That's better.
Because, and I'll just say, the genuine stroke of realism, and you play from a bunch of different perspectives, and it just, again, it's one of those things where the thing that I was done playing it because it was so real. I went back and played Call of Duty Infinite Warfare about 400 times because I was like, space guy, out in space stuff, whatever. And this was like, hey, do you want to run through that house again? And I was like, I don't think I do, actually.
So you think you're done with it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm right at the end of the game. And it's like, dude, you just need to see it through. You paid for it, finish it. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm done, whatever. And I know for most people, a lot of people don't even touch the campaign. They're just there for the multiplayer, and I get that. I'm the complete opposite. I want to play the campaign, and I might spend a little time with the multiplayer. But by the time I was hitting the end of it, I was like, this game is amazing looking and done.
And we're complete.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Not only is it coming back, but more importantly, the media is becoming saturated with the breaded, fried goodness.
So get ready to hear about it for the next week, and then we'll see what happens.
The Popeyes chicken sandwich. So last night when I was getting ready for the show, I was reading an article about why the Popeyes chicken sandwich disappeared. This is amazing to me, they blew through 3 months of supplies in less than 2 weeks. So when they started with that chicken sandwich, they were like, yeah, we'll probably sell this amount. We'll make sure we have enough on hand to last us through November.
And that was interesting to have it pulled back, to see that's how much their limited time offer was going to go or was supposed to go for.
Right. And then for reasons that nobody really understands, it blew up. Because sometimes something just gets big.
I think that was back with the viral trend of like Popeye's chicken sandwich versus Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. And was it Wendy's or what was the other one?
I thought it
or was it just
Wendy's?
Popeye's?
I think it was really Popeye's Chick-fil-A, but you're right.
It was like a
Somebody
battle
else
of the
got
chicken
kinda
sandwiches.
roped in.
Yeah, and then people are like, loving that one, and then that's where it went from there.
Right. And so, in the midst of all of that, the chicken sandwich disappears. People are like going in the back at Popeyes, like, give me the sandwich.
Popeyes is like, here, bring your own bun. We'll give you the chicken tenders. Like, everybody's doing everything.
Like anything and everything they can. But they say that this Sunday, November 3rd, they are going to be re-rolling out the chicken sandwich. So they say that doing it on Monday. Now, Popeyes has not officially said this.
They said they're doing it on Sunday.
Dude, what did I say? Monday? Yeah, but a lot of people are saying they're releasing it on Sunday because Chick-fil-A is closed on
Sundays. But no one's confirming that. But if so, that's clever.
Also, November 3rd is National Sandwich Day.
I think that makes more sense, too.
I did not know that National Sandwich Day was coming up.
Didn't know it was a day.
I didn't either. I mean, I should have. Because everything else has a day. Why wouldn't National Sandwich Day have a day?
Don't we also get, do we gain an hour this weekend?
We do.
So you got
an extra hour to eat that chicken.
You got that and chicken this weekend. Like, anything else?
You're sleeping later. You're eating chicken. I mean, as Sundays go, it's not bad.
Seems pretty good. So if you were a fan of the Popeye sandwich, the chicken sandwich should be back on Sunday, they're saying.
Nikki and I go everywhere and eat everything and live stream it and whatever. This was the one thing to me, and Nikki, you might disagree, but I felt like it got too popular. I was like, you know what?
I don't want to.
I don't even want to now.
You know why? We didn't want to go and have to ask and find and drive around and do all that. We didn't want to.
Sheer laziness, friends.
And that's what makes this show so great.
That's right.
We just didn't care anymore.
That's what's keeping us back.
Yeah.
And I don't even care, which is also holding us back.
But then also pushing us forward.
The Riot. Not everyone's a fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
Nikki, my sinuses are driving me crazy.
Still? So
Yes.
still through the weekend?
Yes.
Oh, your allergies are bugging you.
I woke up multiple times last night doing that thing where I don't have sleep apnea, but it was like having it where I wake up and I'm like, I got to breathe in through my mouth because my nose is just like closed for business, bro.
Whoa.
It's driving me insane.
So what do you think you should do?
Well,
Because nothing's worse than like going to the doctor and they're like, well, it's not like you have a sinus infection.
I don't.
It's just irritated and allergies and stuff.
So, like, I woke up this morning and took some ibuprofen, and that really does help.
It's funny. You can see it. Your nose is actually stuffier, like it's poofier.
Nikki can tell. You
get a redness around it. You get your redness around your nose.
I do. And if I take my glasses off, you can see it in my eyes as well. The whites of their eyes.
It's the sadness.
I don't know if I want to call it sadness.
It is. Are you sad about it?
There is a puffiness about it. It's just frustrating because the other thing about it is that I have to be careful is it also leads to just a certain je ne sais quoi, not caring.
About what?
Everything. And
you're like, I can't. My nose is stuffed up.
I know it's that because there's just this certain flippancy that I get about life in general where I'm like, you got to be careful with that.
It's dangerous.
You got to be careful with that because you're going to say things.
It's the type that could make changes and you don't even know. And then when you come down from whatever this nose thing is, you're like, what did I do?
It'll get cold enough that whatever's in the air will stop bothering me. And I'll be like, I feel great, guys. Why is everybody so mad at me?
Did I say all that?
I don't understand. What's the big deal? I haven't taken anything.
So no more nose spray? No more addictive nose spray?
You mean the Afrin?
Or any of this stuff?
I was so tempted with it.
The sirens call it, so you got to flush it.
I know.
You can't keep it in there.
I feel like once I found out that it was bad for me, suddenly I was like, no, I just want it more.
You just hear it like the where you store your medicine. It's like, ba-boom. Ba-boom, ba-boom.
The telltale heart.
Totally.
It's coming from the top of the fridge.
Is that where you're storing it? Dude, you got to hide that more.
Oh, my
What if you wake up one night
I'll put
and
it under the floorboards.
Yeah, like what if you wake up one night, you're sleepy, and you're so out of it, but yet you're able to walk and find it and spray it in your nose. Aren't you worried?
I wasn't.
You want me to hide it for you?
No.
So then you don't know where it is?
No, I'm like, let's...
Is there a natural Afrin nose spray?
No, there's not all... Because let me tell you what. When people start talking about it being all natural, it's
I bet there is.
just as addictive. You know what I have upstairs? Colloidal silver.
That's good.
Yeah, you got me some of that a couple years ago.
How about nose alternatives to where they're like, put olive oil up your nose or like banana mush?
Oh, my gosh.
They're always something like homemade.
I'm on the sinus rinse thing right now. Like, I'm doing that every night before bed. All that's doing is making me cough funny. Because you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm drowning. But I'm fine.
Boy, you're having a good time, aren't you?
It's fine.
Just a great time. Well, if anybody has any other recommendations for non-habit forming nose sprays,
you know where we are.
Whatever he should be doing, then you just text us and let us know.
Uncomfortable silences during that morning carpool? Not a problem. These two never shut up. It's the Riot on Radio U.
I am the kind of person who does not buy expensive sunglasses for a reason. Now, that reason is I can't keep track of anything.
Let alone a nice thing.
Yeah. This weekend, I lost my phone inside my house 3 times.
Oh, really?
Couldn't find my phone to save my life. Like searching high and low, heaven and earth, whatever, finally found it. So I don't feel confident. Don't even get me started on the clipboard.
We used to have a clipboard.
Do you know it's still the same clipboard?
Yeah, but you don't still have it? Do you have it in your bag?
Yeah.
Well, how do you still have your clipboard, but you lose everything else?
Because it goes in the bag every day. But like this clipboard has been left in Times Square in New York City.
I remember.
It's been left all over the campus of Penn State. I mean, I just leave it all over the place.
You name it, he's left it there.
Yeah. So that's why I've tried to get some kind of perspective on this story because I feel like to a certain extent I can't understand it. And yet, I do this all the time, Nikki. There was somebody over the weekend. His name is Steven, and he carries around a basically $400,000 violin.
Yeah.
He takes it back and forth to practice, whatever.
Is that what he does?
He left it on the train.
Ooh. Bye-bye.
That's the end of that.
But is that how much a nice quality violin costs?
This one was one of the few made by master craftsman David Techler in 1709. You can actually hear this being played.
So it's not an Amazon Basics?
It's not.
It's not?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For pointing that out.
You're welcome. It was on Lord of the Rings?
It's in the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. You can hear it being played.
And he left it on the train?
I know. And you're like, how can you do that?
Isn't it like attached to him?
How many times have I left my sunglasses?
This is
How
different.
many times have I taken the pen from the server?
This is your livelihood. Like that's valuable.
How many times have I left
your livelihood.
The clipboard?
That's not valuable.
In New York City.
Nope. You could let that go and it'd be fine.
Okay.
You don't need the clipboard.
I'm just telling you.
You can have a digital clipboard.
I know, but you know what? You could same with a violin. Why don't we just get you a synthesizer?
No, it's his violin.
We could have a digital violin.
So does he get it back or did he lose it forever?
I don't know.
Well, it's a shame now as someone who has it, who probably claimed it, doesn't even know what it is.
Listen to these words. It was devastating to lose it, and quite apart from its value, it's my livelihood. I was really only its custodian, one of many people who have played it. And I had hoped to pass it on to another violinist eventually.
Well, maybe you did. You just don't know it. Maybe another violinist picked it up from the train, and now they can play.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Apparently, it's like they've been checking the CCTV footage.
Yeah. Can they see where it went?
And et cetera, et cetera. Let's see if there's an update. No. According to this, they still haven't found
the $4,000 violin on the train.
Yeah. And, I've seen a couple of people that are saying, like, stolen violin alert. Not stolen. Left.
Well, it might have been, just found. Someone else just found it.
Someone was like, hey, is this anybody's violin?
I'm sure.
Anybody? Okay.
I'm sure he has insurance, but it's still not the same.
Well, it's fascinating, too, to think like this is a one of a kind. The violin itself is a work of art. And so the idea that, hey, well, why don't you just get an Amazon Basics? Well, was it made by Tekler in 1709?
Maybe.
You don't know.
It was in 2019.
I'll tell you what, we'll just digital print you one. How about that?
And it was made by Ben Tekler, the associate at Amazon.
That's right.
Right.
He took your order right over the internet.
He did, and put it in the box.
Look,
there.
He packed it in this box.
Oh, that is too bad. If you do forget something or lose it, that nothing is the worst. Because you just want it back, but you can't.
Yeah.
It's probably gone.
Just like my clipboard, Nikki.
Yeah, just like your clipboard.
Look at that. You see that Godzilla sticker on the back?
Still here. Your clipboard's still going.
I got that Godzilla sticker in Epcot. Can't just go back to Epcot and get another one.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I definitely appreciate seeing everybody's remedies still.
So many.
So we talked about, 15 minutes or so ago, OB's sinuses are still bugging him from allergies or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
We don't want to label it if we don't need to, but everybody's just been sending in all these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's come from let's see, Angela's like, hey, Sudafed. Keith is like Flonase. Scott says my secret combo is Zyrtec and Flonase.
A lot of you guys seem to be having your own concoction for what helps with whatever's going on.
Megan says saline spray. Let's see.
Breathe Right strips, which never worked for you.
Well, no, they did, but the Breathe Right strips now won't do me any good because what they helped me with was my deviated septum. And when I got that fixed, seriously, one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Of course, let's make a list. Relationship with God, 1, relationship with Nikki, 2, deviated septum, 3. So, I mean, you guys get what I'm saying.
I mean, that is the order. And then someone posted about this Sinus Buster nasal spray.
Oh, my gosh.
And you're like, oh, what there's flavoring, and it's a natural chili pepper. So it has that capsaicin or whatever that's in it, and it's supposed to help really clear out your sinuses, like the nose spray that you get addicted to, the Afrin without
the addiction.
Just chili peppers. It's fine. You really should give that a try.
No big deal.
They say it burns just the tiniest bit, and then it opens up.
Okay, think about this. It burns the tiniest bit. You've shot it up into your head.
You can't take it back.
It's cannot take it back. You are screwed, friend.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to last very long, the discomfort part. And then it's really supposed to open up.
I don't know.
Try it. I mean, the reviews are pretty good.
The one thing that I found myself thinking about as I went into the break room to get some coffee is, the running joke with me is a couple years ago. Who was this here that was like, hey, you should take Sudafed? Was that
Angela?
Okay. Angela, a couple of years ago, I was taking Sudafed.
He went on a Sudafed journey.
Right.
And we thought it would be fine.
And I was like, I need a new desk. I'm just going to build a desk.
No, you got to say it right. With Sudafed, you have an actual normal idea of you need a new desk.
Right.
Sudafed walks on in, tells your brain you don't need to buy a desk.
Build it.
When you could build it. And it happened with you with the cake as well. You said you wanted a piece of cake, and then you wanted to go finally and bake a cake. And it's like, why do you have these feelings?
Did I bake the cake?
No, you wanted to, though.
Okay,
and I think you got mad because you didn't.
All right. Well, here's what I'm saying is that little part of me is getting mad right now because the thing I was thinking is, what if I have this innate, shocking ability as a woodworker?
You just don't know it.
And I don't know it. And, here was finally, yes, it was drug-induced over the counter.
But still.
But here was my body was finally like, this is our chance. We can finally show everybody what an amazing woodworker we are. It was born in us, et cetera, et cetera. And instead, I got no support. I got people that were like, you know what? You really just need to lay down.
Actually, people were worried about you. Because that was also, it really puts you on edge.
What are you talking about?
Emotions-wise.
Right, it's true. It's
very,
true.
very quickly that can turn.
So, for all we know, I could have had an unbelievable multi-stage, multi-layer, modular desk that would have changed
your world.
It would have changed, not just mine, Nikki, but it would have changed the fortunes of people everywhere. I would have been selling those
I don't know about that.
See?
Maybe.
See? That is the lack of support.
I'm not saying it like it's not. I think that'd be more if you found yourself accidentally on meth, not Sudafed. I don't know.
They come from the same place.
John, he's in Charleston. He said it seems like he's talking about the chili pepper nose spray, that it works. It burns, but it works.
Oh, Hannah says nasal spray gives me a bloody nose.
Oh, really?
Oh.
It dries your nose out too much, or is that what causes then the nose, bloody nose?
And I love this. Angela just sent me, rare but serious side effects of Sudafed can include fast heart rate, trouble breathing, hallucinations.
Oh, there it is. A confidence, which one should not have normally.
Yeah, well, you can write that down, but I think it's fine. I do think it's weird when I take Sudafed that Nikki always comes over and spends the night, but it's weird. I mean,
that's a hallucination.
It's just like, this is awkward, but it's fine, Nikki. You can stay.
Can I help you build the deck?
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
I have been loving all the new bands that we've been having on Radio U recently.
We actually have had more than a couple brand new bands that have been joining the Radio U family, which is super cool. Among those would be Empty.
Good morning. This is Gary from Empty, by the way.
Hello, Gary.
How are you doing?
What's up? I'm so good.
So, Gary, you are brand new to us. You're from a band called Empty. Where are you right now?
I am at my home in Conway, South Carolina. It's about 30 minutes outside of Myrtle Beach.
What?
I don't think we've had any other bands in that area.
What? Okay, that's a good question, right? So, like, I don't hear a lot of bands say they're from Myrtle Beach. What's the music scene like in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area?
So, a few years ago, I would say, like, the Myrtle Beach scene was a little more on the rise than it is at the moment.
Meaning it went back down?
Yeah, it's kind of on, like, the decline right now, but that's not really so bad. We actually have a show coming up in a couple of days at home before we leave for this upcoming tour. And when we play, people show up, and it's a good time. So we love playing here.
Okay.
Well, for Gary, we call that a roller coaster approach. So at least for you guys, it's good everybody shows up.
So do you feel like the scene has been on the decline because Empty is so good, people feel like they can't compete?
No, we actually call ourselves Empty because we are void of all talent altogether.
Oh, no!
Well, no, Nikki, I love this because what you do is, how many times have we said it? You lower the expectations.
Lower the bar as low as you can get.
Mm-hmm. And then you go ahead and people show up and they're like, wow, that actually wasn't that bad.
Then that way they're pleasantly surprised at how Empty was as a band. You're like, pleasantly surprised.
I thought it was going to be terrible, but it was actually
pretty good.
At least mildly okay. So it
was at least tolerable.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good way to put it.
So you live in, like you said, you're south of Myrtle Beach, but one of the things I've always kind of wondered is, when you live that close to a place that everybody else goes for vacation, do you get kind of sick of it?
I hate the beach. It's like one of my least favorite places in the world.
Now, Gary, you said the beach. Are you saying you hate Myrtle Beach, or you just hate all beaches, all of them?
Maybe if I went to like a West Coast beach, I would give it a shot. But like the ocean, the beach, the sand, I don't like any of it.
Okay, that's a no.
So what is it that you really don't like about the beach? Because that was a strong answer.
I think I just I've lived here all my life, so like the excitement wears off very quickly.
Well, it sounds like maybe you may have never had the excitement before. Like it's never been a thing for you.
Right. Sea creatures kind of terrify me.
Okay.
I'm really severely afraid of sharks.
Yes.
Someone else besides you.
Me too.
Even in pools, he gets this weird thing.
One.
Yeah, I don't even want to see it at all.
I don't even want to see one at the aquarium.
Yeah.
Like they terrify me.
Dude, I went out, this has been a couple of years ago. I was in the Gulf of Mexico on a Sea-Doo, and I saw a shark fin. It was a shark.
Was
it
a
was
dolphin?
not a porpoise, a dolphin, or whatever. It was a shark. And I was like, and I'm done with the ocean for the rest of my life.
You're going in.
Right. I've definitely seen a couple of sharks while I've been like at the beach. I wasn't in the water, but like if I was, I would definitely have turned around and gone as far away from the beach as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I was already feeling that looking from the beach perspective.
Yeah, well, hey, man, if Rogue Wave comes along, washes that shark onto the beach, it eats you.
No.
It's a freak accident, but you never know.
You're a part of the story
Right.
where they're like, we didn't know sharks could do that, but it did,
Yep.
and that's a shame.
Yep.
Right.
Don't want to
Everybody's
find
got
out
one
about
of those stories.
Mm-hmm. Well,
We've all seen it.
This is Gary. He's from the band Empty, which is new on RadioU. We'll play the new song Prototype for Breathing in just a couple minutes.
So, Gary, you said that you guys are getting ready to leave on tour here pretty soon. What's the game plan on that?
Elaborate on gameplay.
Do you have
Okay,
a game
all right,
plan,
okay.
or is there not one?
So-
Are we packed yet? Are we ready? Are we excited?
How about we start with, do you have tour dates booked?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Yes,
all
we
right. That's a start. Okay, talk to me about the transportation. Do you know what you're going to drive?
We actually have this really neat 16-passenger van that we always, or 15-passenger van that we always drive on tour that messed up on our last tour, so hopefully nothing goes wrong on this one.
Okay.
Have you checked it out? Like, do you take it to go get looked at to make sure it's good?
Yeah,
Or?
so my dad's actually a mechanic, so like
Perfect.
That's perfect for my situation because I have car problems all the time.
Yeah, you do, because it's such a nice van.
It's going to have problems.
It's going to have problems because it likes the beach, and you keep
Right.
trying to take it away from
the beach, and it wants to go home. It wants to go there.
That's
Maybe
what's going
that's
on.
the reason it doesn't even have cruise control, which is so painful when you're driving like 8+ hours.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
to not have control.
Aw. Do you guys do a driver during a tour, or do you just trade off?
We just trade off. My bassist Cody does most of the driving, so bless his heart and soul. He's a trooper.
He's a trooper?
I'll give him that.
See, Gary,
Yeah.
what you need to do is a lot of our other bands, before you go on tours, when you just need to start like creating medical problems or things that keep you from being the one that has to drive
That's right.
a shift, like your eyesight's gone bad or you're just not cleared to drive from your doctor for some sort of reason, and all of it can really be just lies. But then that way, someone has to be the chosen one to drive all the time.
Well, I actually don't do a lot of the driving because they don't like the way that
You drive,
I drive.
yeah? Okay. So you're out of the loop. You don't have to be a part of it.
Exactly. So it's a very rare occasion that I'm driving.
Oh, man, I say you're doing it right. I mean, you've already got it
It's
set
worked
up.
out. Even though now we're interested, like, how bad of a driver are you?
Pretty bad, Nikki.
Pretty bad to be
Pretty
that.
bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about everybody's fighting over not letting him drive
drive.
the van with no cruise control.
And there's a lot of driving when you're
Right.
on tour, and normally they want people to help.
Well, this is Gary from Empty. The song is Prototype for Breathing. Gary, I have genuinely enjoyed talking to you this morning.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so
Well,
thank
now
you
that
so
you guys
much.
are anti-shark buddies, like, of course.
Yeah, we're like best friends now. We bonded over that.
Yeah, you're BFFs.
Yeah, because everybody else is like, there aren't that many sharks. Plus, they don't want to bother you. All these things you see about sharks are so wrong.
They're a
and
very important part.
Right, and
they're
they're
a
like-
majestic creature.
You have a higher chance of winning the lottery. Well, people have won the lottery, and people have been bitten and eaten by sharks, and I'm not taking my chances.
He doesn't want to be here.
This guy gets it. This guy gets it. So, Gary, thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck on tour. This is Empty.
Don't forget to check out, too, through RadioU.com, Hope and the Loss of It All. That's the new album, which came out in September. So you can find that through the shop section of that. And Prototype for Breathing is the new song on RadioU.
All right, man. Good talk. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So for the next little bit, we got to wander out into nerd territory. Apple nerd territory.
That's
and
more
then
acceptable nerd
Android
territory.
nerd territory, okay? So
There it's okay.
let's start with Apple. Nikki?
Yes. The new.
You're already on board. It's
no, I am
you
not.
are.
They're
No,
very
I already
expensive.
heard it. I already heard
They're
it.
very
I already
expensive.
heard it.
Why are they so much money?
You just answered. I didn't even get the question out.
I love my AirPods. I love them to pieces. And I'm on my second one, so I have the newer one. What?
You're getting them.
No, I'm not, because there's so much money.
No.
So they come out.
Your mom's gonna get them.
I know. I need to someone tell my mom that these new AirPods are
I'll
coming
just
out.
send her an email.
Is it Thursday or Friday? Oh, no, tomorrow.
I was gonna say
they come out tomorrow.
Did you guys hear it?
What?
Well, tomorrow.
So the new AirPods, the AirPod Pros, come out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a MacBook Pro, so it really makes sense, doesn't it?
Only makes sense.
I think
that
they'll
you
do
would continue
better.
your professional
Yes.
lifestyle.
And I think, are they what, like
Professional.
Are they $240 something?
$249.
$249. That hurts a bit, doesn't it? Just a bit.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed? If you're a Mac, if you're a student,
Yeah.
and you buy a Mac, you get a free pair of Beats, and they give you like Beats Studio headphones. $350 is what those cost. But
they can't give us these for free.
I love this. When it comes to the AirPods, they're like, no.
You're going to have to pay for those.
Everyone has to pay for those. Okay, so the AirPod Pro, $249, but the regular AirPod for the weak, the cheap.
I think that's $150 for the newer one. I think they're down to $150.
Yeah, those suck.
Well, I don't know how I could
They're
own
so
those and not
weak.
the new ones.
Every
Did
time
you
I
see the smaller case?
every time I see people that have non-pro ones, I just think, what's wrong with you? Why'd you throw your money away?
The only thing I could be okay with for not getting these new ones is...
I'm just kidding. I don't really care.
AirPods fit my ears actually nicely. I don't mind it.
Oh,
I
here
can work
comes
out in them.
Justification.
But some
just as if I'd never bought the AirPods.
Some people say that AirPods won't stay in very well. And for the AirPod Pros, it's medical. Because it's got the silicone ending to it. So, like, it fits your ears. You could choose which one you want. So it fits better, where the other ones might not fit your ear.
Okay.
And I don't think we should be mean to people that need it because their ears are
deformed.
Are shaped differently.
Oh, I mean, I can tell you right now.
They have to have this version,
Okay.
Obi.
Help me out, though.
What?
Real talk. Obviously, you're getting them. And you're going to be like, no, I can't.
No, 'cause
you're
I
getting
will,
no.
somehow.
It's done. It's already done. Okay. Now that being said,
Yeah.
aside from this cushy, foamy ear thing, like
yeah.
what else do they have? Do they have active noise cancellation?
They do. And
Okay.
they have some sort of transparent mode.
So it's going to be easier than ever to get run over.
Well, no, there's a transparent mode or something along those lines where you'll be able to have better clarity on what's going on around you while
Right.
still listening to stuff.
Like the hook is, like when you've got noise canceling headphones, if you have ones that are, I'm sorry I'm saying this, but if you have better ones, what they actually have is they'll have microphones on the outside of your headphones. They'll sample the sound in the environment, and then they emit a sound that is like to the human ear, you can't hear it, but that's how it cancels out noise. It actually makes noise to cancel noise. And the idea with this transparent mode, and other headphones are getting it, is that too many people are getting run over. And so it's actually passing.
Safety.
Yeah, wait, and obviously you'll need it.
It really is.
But it's passing audio through the headphones from the environment so you can hear your music and what's going on outside
around
of
you.
Yeah. So, and you know, Nikki, I feel like you need to be aware
of my surroundings.
Yeah,
you don't want something to happen to me in my ears.
When I saw this announcement, I was like, those are sold. She might be able to.
I don't want to be that person.
There's a lot of things that I can see Nikki saying no to.
I know.
But she's not saying no to this.
I love my AirPods, and there's no reason why I wouldn't love those too. You know?
I know. I know all about it.
Such great little things.
I know all about it.
Yes. And for my AirPods, I
They
just
know
got
too.
these silicone covers, like clothing for the AirPod case. I just recently got into that.
Yeah.
And now this would be a new case. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Take a look at the clock over there.
Oh, 5 minutes. We've been talking about AirPods for 5 minutes.
We've been talking about it for 5 minutes.
We must go now.
5 minutes of you trying to convince yourself that you're not going to do it, but we all know.
And they're out tomorrow.
Nikki's like, you guys want to go to the mall for lunch tomorrow?
Anybody want to go to the mall?
We'll just hang out.
And here's what I'll say. I always say this. Let's just go look at them.
We'll just go.
We'll just go look at them and see. Okay?
I can't buy these, but Eric, if you happen to buy them.
Well, Christmas is coming soon. And if we got them for Christmas and my birthday, because my birthday's right after. I don't want to talk anymore about it.
Lies!
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Now, if you missed Nikki spending 25 minutes talking about the new Apple AirPods, I just want to let you know.
This is going to be shorter, right?
I just want to let you know that that's going to go in today's podcast. So if you don't subscribe to the Worst of the Riot podcast, all you have to do is search Worst of the Riot in basically anything that you get podcasts from.
And you can find it.
You can find it, and then you can listen to it more than once if you want.
How would it sound with the new AirPod Pros?
Well, it would have a more deep, robust
sound
that I think you should consider.
So what's the Android ones?
Okay, the Android thing is yesterday, NVIDIA announced their new Android TV box, which is basically their version of like an Amazon Fire or a Roku or an Apple TV or whatever. So they announced theirs, and it's actually out. They announced it and released it on the same day.
So it's
there weren't any lines.
There was
anywhere.
I didn't see it trending.
You didn't even know that it was happening.
I didn't like for the AirPod Pros. Like I saw that as like for YouTube, the commercial was trending.
Right.
But I didn't see anything on this.
Shocker, right?
I know it. So it's Android.
Yeah.
The NVIDIA, which
Yes.
I know I've heard of that company before.
Right. I'm thinking about it. I think what I might do is.
What do you need a new box for?
Well, I would sell my Apple TV, and I have two of them.
Oh, okay.
So I have
I was going to say that's your cold or your sinuses talking, because that's not what you bring to this show.
I do have two Apple TVs. I have one in the basement that I would not be interested in replacing.
Sure.
But the one upstairs, basically,
Older
that just gets
one?
No, it's still 4K. It just gets used for Netflix. And so,
why do you want this
so
one?
check Craigslist listings. You know what it would do is that the big problem that I'm having is all these different things. And guys, get ready. Like, this is getting some serious nerd alert. So just be aware. Okay.
Let me get comfortable.
I do most of the video games I play on the PC.
Yeah.
Not all, but most. And I'm having trouble because now that all of these different ways to buy games are coming out, and I use the Xbox Game Pass on my PC and stuff, I can't stream those games upstairs to my TV to play.
Because of the Apple TV?
No.
Or
because of, it's complicated, but because of things. And this would theoretically be able to do that. And so that would become something where I would use that, and then I would sell my Apple TV, and this would let me go back to streaming things
on your TV,
onto my TV, like I would like to do. So that's all I got. It is. I'll tell you, they say it's the most advanced Android. It's kind of like the Android answer to the Apple TV. Like, it's higher end. It's got a very strong processor in it. It'll actually play
4K,
Android
I'm
games.
assuming.
It does 4K, all that kind of stuff. And they have two different SKUs, one of which is not a little box for under your TV, but it's a tube.
Ooh.
It's like, I think it's like 4 or 5 inches long, and it's a little cylinder that they say actually is intended to go behind your TV.
See, it's really hard because everything that comes out, or all the streaming services and everything that you want to get and buy, none of them like to work together totally. So
right. It's always a trade-off.
Yeah, so you do have to sometimes switch between, and you have this box now, and then you go over here and you have this box, and sometimes it can be frustrating because they don't like to work together.
Yeah, and you lose a little money every time you sell one.
I know, and you're just like, we don't have any more space. Like, my TV doesn't have any more inputs. Like, you're just out of stuff because you got so many boxes and attachments and stuff.
The only thing I got to look at, or one of the things, is the the Apple TV natively supports like Xbox, PlayStation, all these different controllers. It's magical, which sounds ridiculous, but I mean, I don't know when I have ever connected a Bluetooth controller and it's like it recognizes it and it works and it's so nice, and you just know that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so then you're selling that to go over there, and it's not going to work.
I'll just tell you right now, nobody's doing anything yet.
We're just talking.
And we're checking return policies because if it doesn't do what I want, that thing is out the door.
So that's the new NVIDIA.
NVIDIA Shield TV.
Their TV set-top box for Android.
Yeah, just looking at it. We're just talking here. A couple friends.
We have time to do that every day.
Every day.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Sunday nights, a lot of people experience what some people call Sunday sadness.
Now, that is because of Moody Monday. Sunday sadness leads to Moody Monday.
They say it's the sadness you feel when you don't want to go back to work and or school or whatever your normal week activities are.
Normally hits around 6 to 8 p.m. on Sunday night.
Yeah. I started experiencing it last night. I had some Monday sadness.
Well, you were off yesterday.
I had a long weekend, and so you were just like, oh, man.
Yesterday was to you like
what
your Sunday would be to us.
So I've got an article here. This is actually, it's on CNN, and they say they have some answers for how to deal with
Sunday sadness.
And you're like, Obadiah, it's Tuesday. I know, but Sunday's coming. So my thought is, if we review some of this now, then perhaps we could prepare ourselves for what will happen this weekend.
This weekend, everybody gets an extra hour of sleep.
Oh, that gets even weirder. It's like, it's 5:30 and it's dark.
It's so dark for everybody.
It's like, what's going on? The sun no longer shines.
Well, I mean, this is a different weekend, so yeah.
Okay, so here we go. They say on Sunday you need to, what's the first thing they always say?
Get more sleep?
Exercise.
Oh, exercise.
They're just like, you need to get some exercise on Sunday to help you deal with your Sunday sadness.
They want you to exercise so it keeps you tired, so you're docile and you don't even know what's going on.
You don't have the energy to be sad. You just show up at work.
When your parents used to take you for a walk when you were a kid just to like get it out, get your energy out.
Oh my gosh.
It's the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they're doing to us.
There you go. They say, I do kind of like this one, beat Sunday sadness by taking a nature pill. That's a joke. You go outside. Just go outside and experience some nature.
Oh.
So, like, sit by a tree, walk around a park, like, get outside.
Not with allergies.
No. Oh, man, that's real. Okay, here's another thing they say on Sunday nights. If you want to feel better on Monday, no alcohol. They actually, and I know it's hard to imagine because it seems like everybody else is like, woo! They're saying Sunday should be the day of the week that you just do not drink anything alcoholic at all.
Isn't that why there's still some places that are dry on Sunday?
Well, I think that's more of like a church thing. Like, it's the Lord's Day, so we're not going to drink.
Well, he wanted us to rest, so you're supposed to rest.
Well, the idea here is that alcohol might make you feel better short term, but it's a depressant, so it's going to make you more depressed on Monday, and you're not going to get, even though you might feel sleepy, you're not getting good enough sleep. In your sleep. And here's the last one, Nikki.
Yeah.
To help you beat this, they say to make your bedroom a technology-free zone.
Oh, it's the same list we're getting.
I know,
we
it's
get
for
this
everything.
How do you go to sleep earlier at night? How do you whatever? Put your phone away.
I did this last night, though. Like I said, my phone is my alarm, so that sits next to my bed, but I put it in airplane mode, and I've been having to make myself not use my tablet. Because I've been starting to...
You just moved from your phone to your tablet.
Yeah, I lay in bed and read Reddit and watch TikTok and like whatever. And I'm just like, dude...
That's what we all do for a healthy evening, okay?
I know. But
That's so you are happy.
I have noticed that I do sleep better if I put my tablet away and read instead of that. Because it's like it calms me down enough to go to sleep. Plus, I've been outside in my nature. I've had my exercise, so I'm docile.
You had your walk. You did, and that'll keep you quiet because you're tired.
I don't know. It's supposed to help you. This time of year, man, I'm fighting for my mental health, so I'm checking all the boxes.
You'll do anything these things.
I'm checking all the boxes, man.
Well, I'll still be over here with my phone at 11 at night watching TikTok. You're fine.
You know what? Just send me the links, and I'll watch them in the morning.
I sometimes have started to send him some.
Eric does, too, and that's fine.
Between that and Reddit, it's a wonder we sleep at all.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Got an extra blowhole to the snot locker.